Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and today we're bringing you the 7 Deadly Sins, chapter 197, review, breakdown, and a few thoughts, or Nanatsu no Taizai. So the name of the chapter is called Answers, and the next week's chapter 198 is called The Giant and the Fairy. So it gives you an idea of what that's about, and that's how this chapter ends, so we'll go into all of that. It is kind of a 5-point review, really should be 4 because of the way the content is structured, but I'll break it down and give my thoughts. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the review. So point number 1 and number 2 are very Hauser oriented, and I like that because Hauser for me is probably one of my more favourite characters that isn't one of the 7 Deadly Sins. Naturally, Meliodas, Escanor are my favourites. Ban is cool as well, and King's a bit, annoying sometimes, but he's quite powerful. And generally the rest of the 7 Deadly Sins are alright. Anyway, so he's one of my more favourite characters from the human side of things. There's always Gowther as well. So having that focus on him was good. Now here's the whole thing with him was funny because when he was first introduced sleeping, I didn't even recognize him till his father said his name, and then he started doing his hair and he goes, "Oh, I'm just like you then, aren't I, Dad?" I thought to myself, yeah, he is a lot like him with his hair. So it was funny that they played on that. He's he's like a low-born, he's a lazy guy, and he spends a lot of his time doing his stuff for the community, and his father was teasing him a little bit, so I like that about that. So that was just funny. There wasn't really too much into that other than the fact that he had the exact same hair as his father. So where he got his hairstyle from, the pompadour Takamura style of hairstyle. Now, so there isn't much to look into that other than I found that funny. Point number 2 is what I really liked is when they appointed him as an acting Captain Holy Knight, kind of like Azarthus was doing before. Dreyfus and Hendrickson didn't want to do that, which would be right because of the political side of things and what they did before and everything else in the past. So that was the right move. And with Gilthunder not being there, or Gilsander not being there, the next step would have been Hauser, because strength-wise they're not much different. It's just that Hauser's like the dumb one and Gilthunder's the cool one, I guess. So they kind of give it to Hauser, but to be honest with you, he has so much potential. They just play him down quite a bit, and they make Gilthunder to be a cool, a strong dude. But them two, strength-wise, there isn't much difference. I think stats-wise, Gilthunder's a little bit stronger. Maybe style-wise, it's different, but they work well together. I honestly believe he is a good choice. He's a bit, like I said, he's a bit wet around the ears, and they tease him because of it, and he's a bit silly. But to be honest with you, I actually liked him as he was. So, good decision. I mean, Gilthunder's not there. We'll find out. That's going to be a separate story. But I like the idea of Hauser being the guy. The guy from the one with the masked Slayer, I think his name is. Him being kind of like if you think of it from a Naruto perspective, kind of an Ambu kind of guy. I like that about him. He's a bit of a weirdo though. But anyway, I digress. Point number 2. Now, point number 3 is the next step. So this was a bit of a weird one because with it being called Answers, it literally was a case of Merlin had all the answers and she was giving all them the answers. Because when Hauser gets into town, he notices that everything is fixed. He goes, "Look, this is my magic." Because yeah, I can fix it, but I can't bring people back to life. I can't really fix the devastation in people's hearts. But they mention the next place they're going to go, which is Camelot. So the reason why Camelot is significant is when Zeldris went out and people went, all the 10 commandments did their own thing. Zeldris took over Camelot. So I'll bet anything that's more than likely where the remainder of them are going to be. So if Zeldris and Esterosa are alive, they're probably going to be there. Good chance that Glashina and Dolor could be there. Or this could be set up for next chapter, which I'll talk about later, and I'll get back to that. And the remaining members as well. We don't really have confirmation on Derriere and Montpellier, so they're somewhere out there. So it's interesting, I guess, to see what happens with all of these people, and then you don't know what's going on with the remaining members of the 10 commandments. But that's where we need to go next, which sets up the next 2 points, which is about the remaining members of the 7 deadly sins. Now, a lot of people have mentioned this. It's very obvious. As soon as Fraudrin was dead, we knew he was gonna come back, and it shows. And they've had Gowther in jail, and he's like, yeah, cool, yeah, I'm in jail, yeah, cool, pause. He should just dab there as well. But that's literally, he was just in jail. Gowther being Gowther, not really giving two shits about anything, was just in jail going, yeah, I'm Gowther. But then they released him, and he goes, I'm Gowther, the selflessness one. I'm one of the 10 commandments. And I'm like, yes, finally they've got it out of the way. We all knew it was going to happen. It was a case of when rather than if. And hey, it happened. So I'm glad they've got to that straight away. They haven't wasted any time. They've got to that. Brilliant. That's going to set up some brilliant stuff later on. One thing to remember with that, he was Gowther the selfless, or Mr. Selflessness. Well, Meliodas was badass Meliodas. So with him coming close to being badass Meliodas now, there's a chance that they might just work together. They might not be a big thing. Probably not, but I'm just laying it out there anyway. Now, the last 2 pieces of the puzzle is Dianne and King. Now, I'm trying to not laugh because there's like a scene where they're naked. And the one thing that King actually says is about making something grow. And if that isn't penis innuendo, I don't know what else you could have been referring to, because the filthy minds of people and teenagers out there know that's one way to refer to it. Anyway, I'm assuming he's referring to the one of the elk trees, the tree that was destroyed, that gave the water that Ban drank. Do you know what I mean? I think he's trying to grow that. And why Dianne was naked as well, I don't know. Now, it says at the end of the chapter, the giant and the fairy, so it is going to be about them two. But do we know of any of the giants and fairies? Dolo and Gloshina. Could this be a situation where them two pair up to take care of them two and finish their story off? Possibly. I really want their shipping or their relationship to just sort itself out, because it hasn't really been fully sorted out. Like, they remember, King's always remembered, but like Dianne forgets, and then she remembers, and she forgets, and it's like, make up your mind. So I hope they sort that situation out. But I think the title of the chapter is misleading. It could be confirmation of what they're doing. It could also just be a fight between them and Dolo Gloshina. Either way, I'll wait for next week. Excited as always. Not as hype, but I like the way they do this, because they hype it up, they tone it down, and then we get back more to hype. I like the hype train for 7 Deadly Sins. Can't wait for next week. Hope you enjoyed the chapter. Hope you enjoyed the review. Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Share it with your friends where you feel this may add value to their content. If they are watching or reading the manga, this might help. Share my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below. Share it with your friends, and I'll see you next time. Peace.